Well, hello there, and welcome to the 2011 APWA International Public Works Congress and Exposition. My name is Emily Barta, and we are sitting here with Victor Mendez, Administrator for the Federal Highway Administration. Welcome, and it's an exciting time here at the APWA Congress and Exposition.
Yes, it is, and thank you very much for inviting me. I just took a short walk around the Expo. It's an amazing Expo. Seems like every year it seems to grow.
Every year it does seem to grow. And, let's talk about your growth within the industry, because you were sworn in July of 2009. But what did you do prior to that?
You're absolutely right. July 2009, I actually moved to Washington, D.C. to become the administrator. It seems like a very short period of time now. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes.
But prior to that, I actually was... most of my career in transportation actually grew up within the Arizona Department of Transportation, ADOT. And for about the past 8 years, I was actually the director at ADOT. So it was an amazing experience. I worked under then Governor Janet Napolitano. And I think with the industry and all the stakeholders, we did some pretty amazing things.
Neat.
Yeah.
What have you seen change in the industry since 2009? It's been 2 years now since you've been in this role.
Well, a lot of things have happened, as you're aware. Obviously, when we look at the importance of infrastructure and investing in infrastructure, that debate has been very, very important debate and somewhat difficult over the years. But on the positive side, I can tell you that through the implementation of the Recovery Act and the fact that we had to execute as an industry and we had to execute successfully, I think the level of partnership that I have seen amongst all stakeholders, all the way from the federal, the state, county, and local governments, the way we came together to actually make that happen has been pretty amazing. And we actually plan on continuing the relationship.
Well, and one of the things that has been made happen right now is that President Obama, Congress, and the Federal Highway Administration have made shortening project delivery a major priority. Yes, and we're seeing shaking heads here. We all know this. So through this SHWA initiative called Every Day Counts, the public will recognize the benefits of getting projects completed sooner. Where does this initiative stand in terms of state adoption?
Well, I think, let me just step back a little bit. On Every Day Counts, it's an innovation initiative, and I think all of us in the industry understand that in order to be more responsive to the public, we need to be able to not only be more accountable, but also be able to come in with new innovations to deliver on our projects faster. And so that's what Every Day Counts is all about. What we have done over the past year and a half since we actually implemented Every Day Counts, we've been working very closely with all the stakeholders within the industry and have moved everything forward. We've identified 10 strategies to actually shorten project delivery. And we've identified 5 technologies that are actually out there that are underutilized that we believe the industry ought to implement so that we can actually deliver safety and create jobs faster.
So how's it going?
I think it's going along very well. Here in Colorado, for example, I can tell you that the state of Colorado, out of the 15 overall initiatives, they're implementing 14.
Okay.
They had already implemented the 15th without having, being part of Every Day Counts. So, everybody within the industry over the years has been looking for creative, innovative ways to really deliver to the American people. And so, we just are really urging everybody in the industry that we have to be more creative, more responsive to the American taxpayer. And at the end of the day, I think being able to deliver environmental benefits, safety benefits, improvements, deliver those now rather than 13 years later.
Okay. Well, when you look around Congress and Exposition in general, there are a lot of people here. Right. We started this off by saying that it seems like it's grown and grown every year. And we have a very big crowd right here, chatting with us now. So how can we as individuals adopt all of these different initiatives within our own jurisdiction?
I think what every jurisdiction needs to look at, let me step back a little bit. One thing, I've been an ardent supporter of this concept, that not all great ideas come from Washington, D.C. I believe that very strongly, probably because of my background. I think, second of all, one solution doesn't really apply everywhere equally.
Correct.
A solution in Washington, D.C. may not be the same as a solution here in Colorado.
Right.
So I think that's an important step to think about. Now, what everybody needs to do at the local level is to think about what is necessary for them. Understand, the kinds of projects and investments that you're making at the local level, and be able to come up with the various solutions, implement the appropriate solutions for your issues at the local level.
Okay. Now, just a few minutes ago, incoming APWA Diane Lindemann mentioned President Obama's news of the American Jobs Act. Talk to us about that and how it's going to benefit the public works industry.
Well, I think first and foremost, it's important for us to focus on the issue at hand, and that's the economy, and that's what President Obama is trying to do. We want to make sure the economy rebounds, and we want to make sure that we create jobs today, not later. And so that's really the essence of the American Jobs Act. Okay. He has proposed a $447 billion act to be spread amongst various initiatives that are very, very important to the American people. But really what we're doing here is investing in today's needs, but really investing for the future as well. Mm-hmm. In our industry, I think we know, in the construction industry, for example, in some localities, the construction industry, their unemployment rate is approaching 30%. So I think by investing in infrastructure, schools, roads, bridges, transit, and on, we would be able to actually bring a lot of those workers back to work. We know they're out there. We know they're ready to work. Yeah. And so that's what we want to do throughout the nation, is be able to implement the act. The President has been very clear. He wants Congress to move on this and pass the act as soon as possible, because we believe it's going to make a big difference when it comes to improving the job situation throughout the entire nation.
Well, now, it includes a $50 billion investment in infrastructure, $27 billion of which is designed for roads and bridges. Right. So why is it focusing on infrastructure? Why is that an important part of this?
I think it's pretty evident to all of us. Just think about this. Last week, there's a bridge between Indiana and Kentucky. It's called the Milton, or I forgot the name of it, Minton Bridge, Sherman-Minton Bridge. Okay. And a major bridge, we have to close it because of the aging situation. And that's what's happening. That scenario will continue to play out in the future if we do not invest in our nation's infrastructure. At the same time, if we can do that today, we'll create jobs and bring people back to work and improve the economy.
Well, bringing people back to work is extremely important right now. What is the short-term impact of this? Is it going to work?
Well, we believe it will. I mean, you just look at various facets or various elements of infrastructure, whether it's water, energy, roads and bridges, schools. I would venture to say, if you look at the infrastructure component of the overall act, we know that there's tremendous need out there to improve our infrastructure. And if we want to be competitive as a nation in the future, we have to invest today.
Investing today.
That is correct.
You're doing something else today, though. At 3 o'clock, here at the APWA Congress Exposition, you are going to be speaking about how a federal surface transportation bill will affect investment in infrastructure. So why is this long-term federal transportation bill important? We talked about the short term. What's the long-term benefits?
Well, the long term, I think, first and foremost, it's important for Congress and the administration to come together on a long-term bill. We have, safety law expired 2 years ago, and it's really time for us to move forward with a bill that provides stability for all of us that are in the industry. For the businesses that actually work within the industry, it's important for them to know what that investment level is going to be like, because that's how you're going to plan how many people you're going to hire for the next X number of years, how much more equipment you're going to be buying and investing in for the next X number of years. So without that stability, it's very difficult for everybody in the industry to actually make long-term decisions. So it's very, very important for Congress to come together with the administration and really work on a long-term bill. And as I think you're aware, there's a couple of proposals out there, one from the Senate and one from the House. And I think right now there is a gap between the two proposals. They're going to have to kind of come together and figure out and bridge that gap.
You talked about safety a little bit earlier. There are so many advancements out there, in technology, vehicle construction, in roads, in medicine, in awareness of distracted and drunken driving. I know I always see the signs when I'm going down the highway that say, hit a worker, $10,000 fine. Which is not to say that you should hit a worker. It's saying that if you do hit a worker, you're going to be fined. I really think we need another word in those signs. But how do we keep this momentum moving forward to make our public roads safer and, consequently, our public works employees safer than ever? Right.
Well, I think that there's a couple of elements. First and foremost, I have to say, our Secretary of Transportation, Ray LaHood, is just incredible when it comes to safety. If you think about where we were 2 years ago before he came on board on distracted driving, you hardly ever heard about that. And now everybody's on board. You think about it, even Oprah's on board, the Jonas Brothers, they're all over talking about distracted driving. That is a very key initiative for us at USDOT. Our secretary is passionate about that. We estimate that in the year 2009, about 5,000 people died because of distracted driving issues. That's way too many. Now, I do have to tell you that on the broader basis of overall safety, last year we hit an all-time low in terms of deaths on our highway system. I think it was somewhere around 49,000. So the trends have been very, very good in terms of reducing those trends or those incidents, but at the same time, it's still too many people. And so we have to do better, and that's really our goal. Our mission is to really continue our focus on safety, make sure that everything we do in terms of designing, enforcing, and on, that all of this comes together to really help us improve on our safety issues.
Well, and also on education. I mean, obviously, a big proponent of APWA is education, not only of the APWA members, but of the public as a whole.
Right.
So fantastic. We thank you so very much for coming to spend some time with us today and, talk about everyday counts and talk about all these different initiatives that are going on in the public works industry. And if you're here on site, you can learn some more from Administrator Mendez at 3 o'clock. His topic is the future of transportation in America, how federal surface transportation legislation will shape transportation policy and practice. I did read that. I did not want to mess that up. So Administrator Mendez has agreed to stick around for a few minutes as the schedule permits to answer anybody's questions individually. And on that note, I will say thank you so much for spending some time with us. And enjoy the 2011 APWA International Public Works Congress and Exposition.